Hey guys, this morning's video is on covert narcissism and escaping people in your life with covert narcissism. It's so hard when it comes to ending these relationships and stuff because often they start out really well. And the reason why they start out so well is because the person literally is pulling the wool over your eyes, to get you in that web. It's just like a spider luring an insect into their web. It's the exact same thing a covert narcissist does because they're basically using you for their narcissistic supply, whether it's money, attention, love, sex, whatever it is, all the needs, all the human needs. They see you as a source of meeting their needs. So the first thing they need to do is capture you in their web. I call it the web of lies and deceit. I'm going to read briefly from Julie Hall's article, and it's called 52 Ways to Identify a Covert Narcissist. This is Psychology Today. This is psychologytoday.com, and the author is Julie Hall. I'm going to start the video with this, and then we can keep going. It's Julie Hall says 52 ways to identify a covert narcissist, triangulating, flattering, and conducting smear campaigns. Key points: the covert narcissist fails to develop empathy, self-awareness, or a stable sense of identity. Covert narcissists avoid the spotlight and prefer passive-aggressive means of controlling others. Tactics of a covert narcissist might include belittling, triangulation, and avoiding direct responsibility. The flamboyance of overt narcissists can make them pretty easy to identify, but what about the covert narcissist in your life? Recognizing covert personality traits requires looking beyond obvious appearances, past common assumptions, and expectations. For this reason, covert narcissism is more difficult to spot, and it can take years to recognize it in someone you think you know well. But the good news is that once you become aware of this pattern and signs of covert narcissism, you aren't likely to miss them again. Covert narcissism checklist. The more covert form of pathological narcissism and narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, is not expressed the same way in every individual, but there are typical patterns that are very common. If you see many of most of these attitudes and behaviors in a person you know, you're probably dealing with someone who suffers and makes others suffer with covert narcissism. One is passive aggressive, criticizes and judges from the sidelines. 3 is condescending and superior. Is threatened. 4 is threatened by honesty and directness. 5 swings between idealizing and devaluing himself or others. 6 denies and dismisses others' feelings. That's a big one. 7 cultivates a public image sharply different from her private image. Give you a perfect example. My father was kind of like a little bit of a covert narcissist. He was the pastor of a church, but behind closed doors, he was physically abusing my mom. That's a perfect example of the cultivating a public image sharply different from his or her private life. 8 identifies as a victim. Always, this covert narcissist constantly identify as a victim, no matter what they do to you, no matter how much they've screwed you over, no matter how much they've done you dirty. They're always going to be the victim in their story. They're going to tell everybody that you're a scumbag, that you were the reason everything went to hell. They take zero responsibility. 9 is cynical and sarcastic. That's a big one too. 10 makes unreasonable demands. 11 turns your problems into his or her drama, and I'll go so far as to say they turn their problems into your problems. So if they're having a problem, they're going to make it your problem. 12 belittles and blames. 13 exploits and or attacks others' vulnerability. 14 is reactive to questioning or criticism. 15 plays on sympathies. 16 fakes or exaggerates illness or injury for attention. 17 withholds and stonewalls. That's going to be a big one. 18 gaslight. So they're going to gaslight you constantly, saying things like, you said this, you said that, you said this. Total lies to misrepresent the narrative. 19 avoids introspection and lacks self-awareness. They can't be self-aware at all. I mean, these people literally go through life completely ignorant to how their behavior makes other people feel because they don't care. They literally don't care. 20, use platitudes in place of genuine insight. 21, denies own anger. 22, focuses on unfairness. 23 is envious and vengeful. 24, prefers to remain behind the scenes. That's a big one. Covert narcissists constantly remain behind the scenes. They're really good at ghosting their partners, their friends. That's an example of being behind the scenes because they don't want you to know what they're doing. They don't want you to know that they're cheating on you. They don't want you to know that they're screwing you over financially. You know, if you were around, you might find out that they had a big plan to screw you over financially, and they don't want you finding out about that. 25, gossips. 26, triangulates. 27, holds a grudge. 28, needs reassurance. 29, is attentive or annoyed when others talk. 30, has double standards. 31, hates to lose. 32, fixates on others' problems and misfortunes. 33, flatters and fawns to win favor. 34, displays rage and contempt in private. 35, resists decision-making. 36, does not sincerely apologize. 37, avoids direct responsibility. 38, has an exaggerated sense of entitlement. 39, is impressed by the overt narcissist's appearance of confidence. 40, lacks emotional empathy. 41, focuses on appearances over substance. 42, rushes to false intimacy. 43, is anxious and hypervigilant. 44, displays false humility and humble brags. 45, is prone to paranoia and conspiracy theories. 46, crosses normative boundaries and codes of conduct. 47, pokes, prods, and pries. 48, feels special through association. 49, feels above the rules. 50, uses guilt and shame to control and punish. 51, expects caretaking. 52, conducts smear campaigns. And the smear campaigns are a big one. The overt versus the covert narcissist. Like the overt narcissist, the covert narcissist fails to develop emotional empathy, self-awareness, or stable sense of identity and self-esteem in childhood. Both feel defective and cope with underlying insecurity and shame by representing those feelings and adopting a grandiose persona, a delusion of superiority and entitlement that they constantly assert at the expense of those around them. Although covert narcissists avoid the spotlight and prefer passive-aggressive means of controlling others, this is not necessarily because they are introverted, as is often stated. Rather, they lack the brash confidence of overt narcissists and fear being exposed and humiliated if they draw public attention to themselves. Often this is because they have conditioned not to compete with a domineering overt narcissist's parent. Recognizing the covert narcissist in your life is the first step to overcoming your self-defeating cycles of confusion, guilt, anger, self-blame, and emotional and physical trauma. The author of that article is Julie L. Hall, and that's psychologytoday.com. She's obviously, some sort of author, online public author. She's the author of The Narcissist in Your Life and founder of the Narcissistic Family Files. So that's going to be Julie L's article on psychologytoday.com, guys. You can check that out if you want. I could even probably leave a link in the description of this video. But today, guys, we're talking about how to leave Narc-Ville or how to leave Narc Island. Honestly, guys, it gets to a point where, you want to hang on to the relationship because of the good sides of the person, right? Because even covert narcissists have a lot of good sides to them. It's not all bad. They have good sides too. But in order to, first of all, you want to have a safety plan because there is some narcissists out there that can be incredibly, they can be domestically violent. They could be physically violent. They could be abusive, But a lot of these covert narcissists, they do things behind the scenes because they don't want to go to jail. They don't want to, get caught. So they do everything behind the scenes in order to avoid responsibility and detection. So a lot of their stuff is just all behind the scenes, guys. So you may not have a clue what's going on because they don't want you to know what's going on because they want you to have the wool over your eyes. That way it's easier to control you, easier to get what they want. But in order to safely leave the covert narcissist, the first thing you need to do is identify that there's a problem, and that maybe it's time to cut ties. I think you need to get to the point, it's just like quitting drinking. You have to be ready. Um, I know for me, there was a couple straws that were crossed that I had to cease contact with people in my life, narcissists in my life. Um, and one big thing you guys are gonna have to do is you're gonna have to either severely minimize contact or stop contact altogether. That's going to be the number one thing, guys, is stopping contact. You may have to block them on Facebook. You may have to block them on, your phone. You may have to block them on everything. Sadly to say, that's the first step. That's the first step in getting off Narc Island, is to stop talking to them. You need to fully stop talking to them, because you're sending them the message that this game is over. You know what they're about. You know they're fake. You're ending the relationship, because that's what narcissists do when they first enter your life. Covert narcissists, they future fake, where they make you think everything's great. They'll think you'll think to yourself, Jesus, I got the best girlfriend in the world, or the best guy friend of the world, or the best friend in the world. Little did you know they were just acting like that to get you in that web of manipulation. And then as time goes on, they start devaluing you. They start, ghosting you, devaluing you, verbally abusing you, stonewalling you, all that stuff narcissists do. So that's going to be the first thing to get away from these people, guys, is stopping contact. You're going to have to block them on Facebook. You're going to have to block them on your phone. One recommendation I've used actually with people in my life is I've chosen to just do emails. Like for example, I had a narcissistic friend who was actually video recording me without my knowledge. Covert narcissists will do that. They'll video record you without you knowing. This was actually a business relationship I had with this person. I was actually renting to this person, and they had come over to my house to talk about the rental situation, and they were actually video recording me without my knowledge. And that's an example of what covert narcissists will do. They'll be sneaky. They'll do sneaky shit like that. That's why I've had to stop the relationship with this person, because if someone's going to be video recording me, that means I can't trust you anymore. I can't have you at my house. I can't have you around me. Because at that point, you're no different than some Russian spy, right? You're some sort of Russian spy trying to screw me over somehow. So that's the first thing you guys got to do, is you just got to stop contact. You got to, block them, take them off your phone, stop contacting them. If it's a business relationship, one advice I can give you guys is just go email only. Maybe if it's a boyfriend that you have a child with, maybe you could go email only. That way it's all on the record. You could just start talking to this person on email if you absolutely have to stay in contact with them. Some of this is business relationships. You may have a child with this person, so, not talking to them, that might not be an option. But one thing you guys can do, men or women, is just keep things email. That's what I've done with this particular person in my life, is I've gone email only. When this person first came into my life, they definitely future faked me to think that, we were the bestest of friends. You know what I mean? And then as time went on, this person started severely devaluing me, keeping me out of social events, stopped inviting me over, wouldn't talk to me, ghosting behavior. It can be long periods of time too. It can be years at a time where these people will ghost you, devalue you. It can lead to tremendous pain for the friend. I mean, it can lead to suicide. It could lead to crime. Oftentimes, these people will actually put you in crisis on purpose. They know what your buttons are, so they'll push those buttons to get you into crisis so that then you flip out. I remember back in 2016, I went on a high-speed chase, and the covert narcissists in my life actually said they thought they were partially responsible for that. And more than likely they were, because they purposely set you off. They purposely put you in crisis. They purposely upset you when they're not getting what they want or when they want to push you away. Um, so having those boundaries, guys, is going to be, how to escape Narc-Ville. You have to stop contact with the person. Um, you may have to block the person. You may have to stop visiting with them, just completely, stop contact, stop visiting. Um, Maybe go email only. Like I said, if you absolutely have to stay in contact with this person, just emails only. Um, but you also have to get rid of all they call them flying monkeys. So you have to kind of delete all the people that were associated with this person. You know what I mean? Um, because the flying monkeys are just an extension of the narcissist, right? So you may have to not only block the narcissist, but you may also have to block all the flying monkeys as well, because the flying monkeys are more or less employees of the narcissist. They're going to be spying on you at work. They're going to be spying on you various places. When I had asked this covert narcissist to move out of my house, a couple months later, I'm getting burglaries at my house. I'm getting car burglaries at my house and at work. I was getting car burglaries at work. What was this most likely? This was most likely the result of a smear campaign. This person had called a bunch of my friends, a bunch of my family, and run my name into the ground, most likely causing people to target me, like house burglaries, car burglaries, things like that, because it's a smear campaign, guys. They're going to tell everybody you're the biggest piece of shit. Um, like in this case, I had to ask to have my house back. I had somebody that was renting my house for about 7 years. And then I had to ask them to go. As soon as they move out, they trash my house. This is a narcissist for you. As soon as they move out, they trash my house. Um, Literally they disconnected my propane furnace. They disconnected my water system. So when I moved back into my house, I had no water system. I had no heating system. They did this on purpose to make my life harder. They left about $200, $300 worth of trash in my yard. That's purposeful emotional abuse. They did that to emotionally abuse me, to make me feel bad about asking for my home back. This is just one example, guys. It was a tenant I had for about 7 years, full blown covert narcissist. When he first came into my life, you would have thought me and him were peas and carrots. And then as time started going on, as he wasn't getting what he wanted, he started devaluing me. He started treating me like garbage. He started ghosting me. He started stonewalling me, keeping me out of his life. But then he still wanted to get like things like stay at my house, for extremely cheap rent. This person stayed at my house for a little over $400 for 7 years, a 3-bedroom house. After he moved out, like I said, he trashed my house, disconnected my furnace, disconnected my water system, left about $200 worth of trash outside. This is what covert narcissists will do. They do it on purpose to hurt you, to make you feel upset. Um, with this particular person, I've had to go email only because I've had to stop contact because this person was video recording me against my knowledge. How can you feel comfortable around people that are video recording you without you knowing? And these people are saying that they're your friends and things. They'll also future fake guys too. Like they'll say, oh, I'll give you this amount of money per month. Let's say they're living with you. They'll say, I'll give you this certain amount of money per month, and then they won't do it. They'll literally lie about the money they're going to give you. So covert narcissists are always using all kinds of tools in their tool belt, which I told you early in the list of 50 from Julie Hall's list of 50. Triangulation is a big one women use. I'd say women use triangulation the most. They pit their other boyfriends against you. So if they break up, you may get a phone call from ex-boyfriend. I remember when one of the narcissistic girls I was dating, she was actually going to like send a boyfriend was going to come over and talk to me or something. That's an example of triangulation, guys. They triangulate all these boyfriends against you. The flattery, I think the flattery is mostly a woman thing. Mostly women do that. Women narcissists, covert narcissists are going to be dressed super nice, super classy. They act like they don't have time for you, so they're gonna like pencil you into their schedule. Hey, can we meet up for lunch Monday at 2 o'clock? That's an example of devaluing you. Subtly they're saying they got to pencil you in. They got to pencil you into their schedule. That's devaluement. But one big thing you're going to see, guys, is those smear campaigns. I mean, I remember when I had asked this person to move out of my house after 7 years. He was staying at my house for 7 years. I was renting my house. Immediately, he goes on a smear campaign. He starts calling my friends, running my name into the ground. Starts calling my family, running my name into the ground, ran my name into the ground to the police. Like I said, disconnected my propane furnace. When I moved back in, it was on the ground. Disconnected my water system and refused to hook it back up. Left about $200 worth of trash in my yard. I had to actually have someone come with a truck to help me get rid of it. But that smear campaign is going to be a big one. You'll see that. If you have a falling out with a narcissist, you're going to see that smear campaign right away. There's no limit to what they'll do. I mean, they could put you on blast on Facebook, everything, guys. Like I said, this particular person I was renting to, he had no issues the entire 7 years that he was living here, this covert narcissist. And then he moves out. Immediately, I have 2 to 3 burglaries back to back. I have car burglaries back to back. He was behind this, guys. He'll never admit it. Most likely it was his smear campaign. He was probably calling everybody, telling everybody I was a prick because I was asking him to move out of my house. Here's a friend I let stay at a 3-bedroom house for $440 for 7 years. This was like a best friend when it started, guys. And basically he just future faked me just like a spider to get me into his web. That way he could take advantage of me. This is a guy that probably got about $30,000 in savings out of me. He actually ended up building a house with the money that he saved from me. To this day, he gives me zero thanks, has not ever once said thank you for anything I've done for him. Totally takes it for granted, acts like he doesn't even care about the $30,000 I helped him save. That's how narcissists are going to treat you. You could literally give them $30,000. You will not get one thank you from the covert narcissist. That's because part of narcissism is that entitlement. They feel like they deserve it. They feel like they should just get your stuff, that they're entitled to it. That's why it's so important to put up boundaries. Boundaries are going to be number 2, guys. So number 1 is stopping contact, blocking them on your phone, blocking them everywhere, blocking them. And like I said, if it's a parent, let's say it's your child's father or your child's mother, why not just keep it at email? That's a safe way to do it. Like with this particular tenant, I told him, I said, we can't hang out anymore, but if you need me for like crisis help, you can email me. Because this is a person I've known for like 20 years. Do I believe he's a covert narcissist? Yes, I'd say it to his face that he shows almost every symptom of covert narcissism. But I've said, hey, if you need to hit me up by email, you can. That way he doesn't feel completely neglected, as a lifelong friend, even though you wouldn't really say we're currently friends. But I told him he could email me if he was having a bad day. So I've chosen to just keep it email only with this person. They don't come to my house. We don't talk on the phone. We don't talk over Facebook. He's not on my Facebook. We've literally stopped contact. And that's one way to escape Narc Island and Narc-Ville, is to cease contact, stop contact. You may have to block the person. But the second part is boundaries. You got to be willing to set boundaries with this person in your life. No, you can't come to my house. No, I'd rather you not stop by my workplace. No, I can't lend you money. No, I can't do this. No, I can't do that. You're going to have to really, really hone in on those boundaries, guys, in order to keep yourself safe. And then thirdly, I think deleting all the flying monkeys, all their flying monkeys is incredibly important, because all these covert narcissists, they have all these flying monkeys that they go to and they smear your name to, just like this person did when he moved out of my house. Funny how he has no issues the entire 7 years he lived at my house. But then he moves out, was upset that I asked for my house back. Now my car is getting broken into. I had 2 or 3 burglaries back to back. Something doesn't add up here. Obviously, it was his smear campaign that led to all these burglaries, that led to all these car burglaries, because he did call my friends. Actually, had a girlfriend admit to me that he called. So they go on these smear campaigns in order to ruin your reputation, to ruin, how people view you. It's what they do. So setting boundaries and stopping contact is two of the best ways to escape Narc-Ville, guys. Um, that's almost the whole battle, guys. That's almost the whole of it. Um, if you're a woman, you may have to get the police involved. You may have to put a no trespassing order on them. Or like one time a friend came to my house and pulled a knife on me because he thought I was fucking his girlfriend. Instead of pressing charges on him, I just put a no contact order, a no trespassing order, so that he couldn't legally come to my house anymore. So setting boundaries, guys, is incredibly important. Um, Stopping contact, setting boundaries, being honest. You may have, like I said, if it's a parental situation, you may have to keep it at email. But those guys that's going to be today's video. I think we've beaten a dead horse today, but those are two ways that you can escape Narc-Ville, guys. Is stopping contact is a big one. You got to stop contact, even though it's really painful. You care about this person. Number two, you have to be willing to set boundaries with this person. You have to be willing to say, no, you can't come to my house. No, I'd rather you not come to my work. No, this, no, that, no, this. No is a beautiful word, guys. And you got to be willing to use that beautiful word, no. Till next time, guys, hope you have a good one. Talk to you later. Subscribe, like this video, and I will see you soon. Thank you so much.